Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of T and Tyria, and with me today I have Psychopoweranger. Go ahead and
Yo, yo, up in this piece.
awesome. And of course with the introduction of Psychopoweranger we will be talking about PvP, no doubt.
Yeah.
And we've got quite a lot of topics to cover in this one. So we try and get through it as quick as possible, but try and keep it to about half an hour, we'll say, and see how it goes. So, overall, from what we have seen from press betas and general gameplay, are you excited for PvP, Psycho?
Heck yeah. I was like, dude, it's just like way bomb. I'm really excited. Honestly, I haven't watched too much of the structured PvP though. Essentially I just was watching World v World, which I'm really excited about. Though at the moment it looks kind of lame to attack like the walls. They seem to have so much health, and it's just like a lot of the time it just looks like really boring. But I heard that, or I didn't hear, I know that it was really one-sided during all those betas, so there's a lot of things that we're missing out on.
Yeah, it's World versus World is very hard to balance and to get perfect. I remember in Warhammer
Right,
Online, it was literally like an hour of just banging on a door.
right. And like, I know that one of the servers out of the three was just way like huge, like all the press had and then like all the like weekend betas and stuff like that, like they were in different servers, and there wasn't enough of them. So the press beta green team, I believe it was, just steamrolled everything and owned everything because they had more people.
Yeah,
So it's
hopefully,
hard to see.
hopefully the balance will be monitored and managed.
Right.
But yeah, well, I suppose we only can see when the game comes out after they've took our money. So
Right. But it still looks awesome. I think it'll work for sure.
yeah,
Once I think once people realize that how important siege engines are and stuff, they'll use those more often. Because like if you don't, then you just see these like 100 people just beating at a door for like the next 15 minutes.
exactly. Yeah. Also, whose video is it now? I think it was Yogscast where they had putting up basically setting up the siege equipment like in crazy places around the map.
Right.
Because at the moment we just see him like right outside the door, and it's kind of
Yeah.
quite boring. But people put it up on like cliffs. So
Right.
if you want to defend from the siege, you have to like take this
Right.
massive route
Yeah.
round. So it'd be quite interesting to see what people
That
like the optimum places to put things.
that is really sweet. I didn't even think about that. Kind of like in Age of Empires where put like a watchtower on a hill. It's
Yeah,
kind of the same thing, but with like catapults.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's actually kind of sweet idea. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and on the subject of balance for structured PvP, what do you think about balance? As in the different team setups and how it's going to like if you had 5 warriors, for example, against 5 mesmers, obviously it's going to be a bit of an awkward one to sort of keep balanced. And do you think
Right.
it looks like it's going to be promising in terms of no characters
Oh,
being overpowered and stuff like this?
ArenaNet, at least for the original Guild Wars, was pretty good at balancing. The fact that they had to balance like 32 plus classes in Guild Wars 1 and did it in a pretty decent way where you still felt, regardless of what you used, with the exception of usually the Mesmer was really good in Guild Wars 1, it felt like whatever you chose, you still had a chance to win. And if they keep that over in Guild Wars 2, then it'll be pretty sweet. But there's always going to be overpowered. It just happens. But ArenaNet, I think the way they handle this is they constantly put out updates and they'll constantly just fix the problems as they come instead of like the conventional way to fix it, which is like patch once every like 2 months. They just do them all the time, and then it's like whatever.
Yeah,
So if they bring that over to Guild Wars 2 as their patching system, then we'll probably see some really good balance for sure.
yeah.
If it so like yeah, yeah, I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Plus the fact
Um,
that we a lot of imbalances that come with MMOs is simply because they're trying to balance both PvP and PvE and get the skills aligned
right,
correctly, and like different mechanics being put in to try and separate the two. But Guild Wars 2
right,
is literally the structured PvP anyway is literally just separate completely. So
right.
you start out at top level, you get all your traits, you get all your
That's true.
skills, and you
You
take on
don't have to
certain
worry about
skills.
gear and stuff like that. It's not a gear war anymore, unless you're in
Yeah,
World v World. But structured PvP, it's all skill. So like that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. Um, Though I am concerned about the fact that some classes have more supportability and more of that nature. Like some are like more tanky or more support. It's not to a huge extent, but like I think they're starting to change that because I've been seeing the most recent updates for like, for example, the thief. The thief just got some skill rechanges so that it has some more support type natures. Like the smoke screen also heals allies now and things of that nature. And like I think they're just trying. They realized that some classes couldn't perform the roles, all three roles, as well as they wanted to, and hopefully they're about to like put that all into perspective and make it all close to make anybody be able to do what they want. So that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and that also comes back to sort of team composition, where if you have, like five thieves, it's not going to be as viable as
Right.
having like a guardian in your team, an
Right.
arbalist in your team, because guardian can support so that bubble that the guardian has is
Yeah, dude.
awesome.
The Guardian can have like I love the Guardian because you can literally have like let's see, if you went Mace Shield and then took all block skills in your utility, you can make like you can have like let's see, four block skills. Your heal can block while you're or regenerating health, and then you can block with the two shield skills. There's a mace block skill, and then the other two mace skills like give you health regeneration and stuff. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Like I made a build. I made a like I was gonna put out that build, and like it's awesome.
Yeah. And imagine like holding a center point. You'll just put the guardian just to hold that point for
Right.
as long as you can.
It's
It'd just be
ridiculous.
awesome. And like as you were saying about the thief before, I think in PvP they'll take on like different roles. You have your I don't want to say tank, but you have like your holder of positions, if you like. If you've got
Right.
a position like the guardian we're just saying, and the thief will be more of a harasser
Right.
because he's more single target DPS. And
Yeah,
that's
he can
your,
get
like
into the back lines easy too.
yeah,
Especially with Shadow Step where they changed it now so that you can Shadow Step in and then Shadow Step out.
yeah,
So
that's
like
awesome.
you can do some awesome harass. Like even things like Shadow Step in, you could be like, all right, this just hit my head right now. You can take that Shadow Step and then put the other two as traps and
Yeah,
then like run in there and shadow step in, lay two traps and shadow step out, and then
oh
like
man,
go into the front line. That'd be kind of cool. Like that
that
way you could cut off their escape routes and stuff like that.
it's gonna be
I'll be
really good. The what's it called? The caltrops. Like
yeah,
shadow step
dude.
in, cripple everybody. Shadow step
Exactly.
out, run away.
Shadow step in, cow trap, shadow step out, and then like, and then pressure their front, and then when they try to run, there's calatrops in the way. Oh, where those come
Exactly.
from?
And the signet of assassination, I think it's called, along with like the traits for damage, more damage when a
Right.
character's under low health. You can literally like shadow step in, just one shot someone. He's
Yeah, shadow
almost dead.
step out.
Get back
That's
up.
what I had a build like that in Guild Wars 1 until they nerfed it, but it was freaking awesome. Then they nerfed Black Lotus Strike, and then I stopped really playing the assassin as much as I used to. It
Oh
was so
man.
sad, dude. Black Lotus Strike was the best, but that's not what this last talk is about.
Yeah, but I suppose talking about different builds and player mechanics and stuff, I think.
Dude, heck yeah, dude. I love builds. It's all I do.
Do you think um, that we'll be seeing, such as in games like StarCraft and League of Legends and what have you, where you have teams like EG, Dignitas, like Mouse 5, and
Right.
do you think there'll be such big, like pro teams for in Guild Wars 2 within like say the first month or so?
First month, possibly. I don't think it'll happen that quick, but I do think that big pro teams will happen in this game. And the biggest reason I say this is because it's free.
Yeah,
Like the fact that it's free, you just buy the game and it's good to go. Like that is a big factor for pro, just in that general aspect. They don't have to pay for that. It's easy to find. It just increases the player pool. When something's free, the player pool never shrinks because you never are an unactive player, technically. Your account is always active. So the
yeah,
pool is just always big. And that creates a better chance for pro teams to arise, more people to play because they don't ever stop playing essentially if you know what I mean. But like as for in the first month, I doubt it because it just
that takes
takes
time
time.
to
I know,
yeah.
right. I know that there's a lot of hype for this game, but the thing is it's going to take time for that, especially because of the combination skills in this game and how everything works, finding the meta will take a little bit, and there probably won't be too many pro stuff in the first month. But that's just me. That's just what I think.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that, as trying to think of some good examples, but we hear a lot of the same names coming out of a lot of esports games,
Right.
such as like EG or Eva Geniuses and Dignitas, and
Right.
you know all these different what have you. And for Guild Wars 2, obviously it's an MMO, not like a MOBA or RTS or anything. So
Right.
do you think that since it's a brand new game, nothing like it before, like with StarCraft, for example, you had, you know, Brood War, with League of Legends, you had Dota and what have you.
Right.
Um, like, do you think that a lot of new people will be coming out of the scene that we just haven't seen before?
Probably. I know for League of Legends, a new team came out of the scene already. I forget who they were, and they actually trained and like it shook up everything. Let me
Yeah.
just do a little Google search here. But like, I think that there will be a lot of the same, where people will transfer over from World of Warcraft and or like other
Yeah.
MMOs like that. But probably World of Warcraft because that was the only like huge.
I suppose a good point to pick up on as well is like the names, they're not really the same people. Like Eva
Right.
Geniuses isn't the same people. So
Yes, it's just like a corporation essentially.
yeah, like if we all made a good team of 5 people, then Eva Genius probably come along to us and say, "Do you want to be sponsored by us?" So
Right.
we've probably seen the same titles, but
That's true. Because, like, I didn't even think about that. Like, it's getting more popular. And whenever something's popular, there's always companies that are just going to, like, take over everything.
exactly, yeah,
They're going to, anytime a new esport comes, they're going to look to find themselves an esport team to make themselves money in it. So that's probably what will end up happening with the biggest of the big.
it's true.
They'll be like, let's put together a team just so we can make money off of them.
Yeah,
So more than likely you'll see some of the teams around like that, but besides that, there'll
yeah,
probably be some new teams coming in. I couldn't find that because it was off the main thing of League of Legends, but they just came in and it shook up everything.
yeah. I'm sure someone in the comments will know who you're talking about.
Right, yeah.
But the reason why I said this, because it is quite a vague topic, but the tournament system in Guild Wars 2 is that you got pick up play, tournament play, and
Right,
you got monthly tournaments, yearly tournaments. So random people can just, you know, really grind hard and, you
right,
know, scrim and what have you, and come up through these tournaments and then get invited to lots more events, lots more
right,
things. So I think the way it's set up is that we'll be seeing a lot more new people constantly coming up throughout the scene.
right.
And the pro, like for example in StarCraft at the moment, it's like Koreans just dominate the whole game.
Yeah, I know.
And American, we all know the, you know, EU and NA, different people like, you know, Hydra, In Control, White Raw,
Right.
and loads of different people, but they're all the same names throughout the whole place, and all they're trying to do is beat Koreans.
I know. There was a Korea versus the world tournament that I
Yeah,
watched. And that, it was so funny where it was just all the best players from Korea, from all the best play, and then all the best players from everywhere else.
yeah, like just trying to beat them. And it's like I think with this tournament system they've put into the game, it allows people to just gain that reputation that
Right.
is so hard to gain in other games. But it's because imagine if you just win all your tournaments, all your, you know, monthly tournaments, or your daily tournaments or whatever, and your team's just topping those leaderboards. You know, there's always going to be new teams trying to gain that top spot, especially because it's going to be
Right.
such a large player pool as well.
Hopefully they improve on the original Goers because they're essentially doing the same thing that Goers 1 did,
Mm.
but it was really like it wasn't complicated, but it was hard to understand how to get into those tournaments. And I'm pretty sure they're just improving on that. And if they do, then it'll be awesome. Like if it's just a simple like do it up kind of thing, you're just like, here's my team, let's go. That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
That's how it's going to end up being. In Guild Wars 1, it was like you had to have tournament tokens and all sorts of random things, and like it made it a little bit confusing. So people who
yeah.
didn't know much about it, it was kind of tough for them to get into it because they just didn't know what to do.
I think the way it might work, I'm not certain on this, but as you know, you sort of get karma points.
Right.
I think you sort of get PvP points for each like tournament you win.
Right.
Obviously, they're not called PvP points, but
I think they're called glory,
glory
glory, right?
points. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, for example, obviously, if you win in loads of tournaments, you'll get loads of points. So hopefully they might do like a back and forth. So if you lose a game, you lose some points. So
Right.
if you're over a certain amount, like if you're over 1,000 points, you can enter these these brackets of tournaments. If you're over,
Right.
sort of like a rating system, I suppose.
Look at
That'd be pretty cool.
yellow. Nah,
Yeah, yeah.
yawned.
So that might be something that would be beneficial to the game, I suppose.
Yeah, most definitely. Dude, I want this game.
It's what annoys me is that like for people who have been following me from day one, they would know that I thought the game was coming out in March, which is this month, and this was
Right.
ages ago. And the fact that we could, they're going to be doing months. I mean, the beta testing, it's like end of April, and then they're going to do months of beta testing
Right.
each weekend at the end of each month. So we've still got a long way to go,
I know.
even though the game is in sight. And from the looks of it, I know a lot of people probably don't think this, but the game is actually far from finished because
I know all the bugs and stuff.
yeah,
They
and
don't even have one can assume they haven't even finished the like Silvari or
so
Asuran areas because they won't even let you
exactly, I
go
think
to
there's
them.
loads of
So
zones and 'cause if you
things that
think
are just
about it,
missing.
the world because of the way the world is set up, it's like if you have to change a massive thing in one zone, that could change a lot of
Every
things throughout the whole
right.
world. So even if they have to, like for example, when you see these press people saying, "Oh, this event isn't that good," then if they take that event out, they'll probably have to put another one in, and then they'll have to change things around. So a
Right.
lot in a normal MMO, it might be quick fixes, but in Guild Wars
Right.
2, it's going to take a long time to fix
Let's
certain
see,
things and get it
April,
finished.
May, June, July. Honestly,
When do you think? When do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say July.
Yeah,
Maybe the end of July. I want to say is that's when it's gonna come out, which would
yeah,
be awesome because I would like it to come out before at least before I have to go back to school.
yeah. Again, obviously my sort of prediction opinion isn't as valid anymore. But
Right.
I would have also said the end of July,
Right.
simply because it's sort of end of school time. They've said 2012, so it has to come out in 2012.
Right. Well, I guess
Um,
it doesn't have to because it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago,
don't say
but
this, man.
but
Don't say this.
but I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm glad it took 2 more years because this game would not have looked nearly as awesome. It probably would have been more of a Guild Wars 1 clone if it came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's. I think what happened is simply the excitement around the game. They probably thought, wait a minute, we need to make this game like
Right.
step it up.
This needs to be the MMO
Yeah,
of the year. Like that's
yeah,
what they're doing it right. Let's just say that. Like honestly, like to be completely honest, the one thing that I think will make this game fail if it did, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is the lack of end game. But they're doing too much right for it to really end badly. Like for example, any other game that just ended up not working out well didn't really it just didn't take its time. It just was like it pushed itself out as quickly as possible because they gave in to the fact that everybody wanted to play the game, especially Conan.
yeah.
The Age of Conan came out 9 months early,
That was bad.
and and like it was just the worst thing ever. So I'm glad they're taking the time, and it's definitely going to be amazing. And for the most part, generally I can keep it out of my mind as long as I don't think about it too much. If I watch like 2 hours of video or something, then I'm just like I need this game. But
Yeah.
if I just take it in slowly, I'm good to go, man.
It'll be a lot easier over the next few months, I think, because as long as you pre-purchase, you can get into these beta events. So
Right. And
at
then there's
least you'll
plenty of
know.
footage to watch and stuff. Like you can just be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. So I think the wait isn't as painful anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, our next topic, I suppose, is new game modes. Do you think that are going to implement new game modes in the future, or
Heck yeah.
should there be some on launch?
Dude, there will be. And
Gonna capture the flag.
there also better be because it would be awesome. Like First of all, there needs to be, yeah, capture flag. I love capture flag. I don't care what game it is. I love that it's in it. I want it to be in League of Legends. I want it to be in everything because capture flag is like one of the best game modes ever created, and it should be in everything.
Yeah.
Um, even though capture the flag is hard to balance because classes that have can go fast make it unfair. But if both sides can have them, then there's nothing wrong with that. It wouldn't really work in League of Legends because if you played capture the flag in League of Legends, then like you in a ranked match or not a, or like a draft mode match, you would like
Just counter
you
pick
couldn't
would be
the
so.
only you could only have one of the champion on the screen, so it doesn't really work. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see a whole bunch of just different game modes, capture the flag, death matches, ones, twos, mostly odd numbers because odd numbers are better than even numbers.
Yeah.
Uh, everything like that would
Yeah.
be. I would love to see some game modes getting up in this piece, and I think they will. It seems like whenever they talk, they seem like they're going to be putting more game modes in, more things to do. They like to push innovation. I wouldn't even doubt seeing some like weird combinations where you need to do multiple things, but who even knows? Who even knows, really?
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a good move. Because I mean, on release, I think they will just have these sort of domination game modes and then
Right.
move into sort of different modes.
Right.
But I definitely think it is a good move because I mean, it's proven that one game mode can have longevity, like League of Legends,
Like League of
all the
Legends.
Dota type games.
There's only one. There's only one map.
One map, one game mode, just duke it out on the field. But the thing with League of Legends is you get different characters, so there
Yeah,
is
there's
that
so
sort of
many. There's
change.
yeah, there's always a different feel because there's like a bajillion different combinations.
Exactly, but in Guild Wars 2, obviously, it's sort of fixed. So
Right.
to keep players interested, I think new game mode's definitely going to come in. But what do you think about like 3v3? You know, like sort of WoW Arena. There's going to be a lot
Right.
of players coming over from WoW. So like 3v3 and 2v2s, sort of in an arena deathmatch, duke it out.
I will. I want it. I will not so much twos. I don't really care about twos, and the thing is, twos probably wouldn't be as fun, especially because you wouldn't like. There, this game like that type of fighting needs to be in the game. They need to put a 3v3 and a 2v2 into it just because it would really push the whole combo system, skill combo system.
Yeah,
So like the fact that you could like combine your utilities and stuff to be able to do different combos that could honestly just win you the game from a point, it would be very exciting to watch. So like to have 2v2s and 3v3s in the game would just really push that and it would be really awesome to watch. 2v2s not as much because you can't do as many cool combos and like I personally just don't like even numbers in most cases because even numbers don't shake up anything. It's comfortable. You can keep an eye on even numbers because each
yeah,
person can keep an eye on each person kind of thing, you know what I mean? But with odd numbers there's always that like extra, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like
I definitely agree. I used to do twos in WoW simply because twos was like so much easier.
right.
But yeah, for when I did play threes, it was so much better. But I think World of Warcraft is like, come on, the PvP in
Right.
that is just no.
Yeah, I tried PvP in WoW. I have two max level characters in WoW, and
Mhm.
like I I just would like play, and then I'm like this. I can't do this. I don't like it. It's just a gear war.
Yeah,
Like my gear was never as good as the next guy's. I don't constantly having to be looking for gear, and I'm just like, nah, no more of this.
yeah, it's true. But let's not, go on. Wow, talk about WoW too much on
Right.
this. But yeah, I definitely think that's a positive for the game, and that's probably where the game is going. I'm not too sure about the T. That's why I asked about 2v2s and 3v3s because I don't know if they'll do that because these guys we talk ArenaNet are from Blizzard. That's
Right.
the core people of the founders,
Right.
if you like, are
Uh-huh.
from Blizzard. So whether they would,
Yeah.
want to associate themselves with it at all is a question. But
Right, but I think they still would put some sort of just a death match in the game. There will be. There's no way that they won't because it's just some people like to deathmatch. I like to deathmatch. If they don't have one, I'll be upset. But I
Yeah,
mean, I will be world for deathmatching essentially. But that's also like a capture point. But I
yeah,
think they'll put it in just because it's not like WoW is the only one who does that. It's just a game type. It's deathmatch. It's in everything. FPSs, MMOs, everything. It's just there. So I think it might probably end up being in there.
yeah, definitely. But leaving that behind,
Right.
as yeah. But next topic is destructible environments and environmental weapons. Now, from the Battle of Kryta, I think it is, with
Right.
the massive church in the middle, there's a trebuchet on the map, and this
Oh, Battle
trebuchet
Kylo.
fires. Battle of Kylo, yeah, and it completely destroys the like the church type thing in the middle,
Right.
and obviously
That's
it's very visual, looks absolutely awesome. And they said on the because it was DJ Wheat, wasn't it, casting at PAX, I think it was, and they were emphasizing the fact of how important the trebuchet is. But while I was watching it, I couldn't. I don't know if it's just me, but I couldn't really see
the
that it was
importance.
that important. I mean, obviously you can fire a trebuchet at a capture point and blow everyone off it, but
Right.
after you've done that, it's kind of like everyone just goes back onto the capture point, carries on
Right.
capturing it. So whether you want to have four people on the map and one person on the trebuchet constantly fighting with the other person from the other team.
Right.
So the trebuchet isn't getting fired because two people are constantly fighting over it. I don't know, it all seems a bit disjointed, but the idea of it is still awesome. But
Right.
maybe it needs that a little
I
bit
know
more.
that there's other things that can blow up on that map.
Yeah,
Um, I don't remember the exact percent, so I can't. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to say something wrong and then be like, nah. So there, I just know that it opens up other pathways and other things like that. But like you said, like once you've done that, once you blow up the other added things, like say you're just like yo, and you shoot like a wall down. Now you guys can move through that wall to flank, whatever. There's only so many things you can blow up, and it's not like the thing fires too slow. You can blow up everything you need to blow up in the first like few minutes and then just go.
yeah,
Like honestly, it's a sweet idea, and I think they're just talking it up though to make it seem like the greatest thing ever. Uh, I would like to see more of those kind of things in the game. I love the idea of vehicles and things to be inside to change your damage and like have a huge impact on the game. It all just depends on how much damage that Trebuchet can do to players, and
yeah. It
I
does a
think
hell of a
it
lot of
does.
damage to players.
Right. It does also give you a different view, though, too. You have to keep that in mind. So, what it can help you do is you can also not only be blowing up things and stopping capture points and stuff like that, you can also be like the operator. And you can kind of say, oh, there's some guys over here, there's some guys over there. This is where we need to be going. This is where we need to be capturing because you have a better view of the land because it's on top of a hill.
Yeah,
So that's also something that you can keep in mind is you can also play as like the operator who can dictate where people need to be going to better push their team to victory.
yeah, definitely. And I suppose if one team is neglecting it, then and someone is just open, um, as soon as you need to capture, it could be used really tactically as long as you're in communication with your team.
Right.
And the amount of if five people are standing on one point, which will probably never happen, but if and the trebuchet hits them, they're all down to like half HP, and then
Right.
probably the three people to capture that point could easily do it.
Right.
So I'm not saying it doesn't have like a massive,
Right.
thing, but whether it's as like you say, whether it's as much as ArenaNet are saying it is, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'm sure there'll be ways to get around it, especially how dynamic players are, like how important players are in this game. There might
Yeah.
they'll probably end up having to patch that trebuchet to make it more important because in the end, once people find character builds that are like really awesome and work together really well, they'll probably be better than this trebuchet in itself, and they'll more than likely have to patch the trebuchet to do more.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll get to see where it goes,
Right.
and how they'll patch it. But one thing that we haven't seen, which is in PvE, definitely, is environmental weapons, where we've seen little tiny like playful ones where you pick up a boulder and you throw it at a rabbit or
Right.
something, but my guess is that they're going to be like you'll be able to pick up like an epic spear that's in the middle of the map or something,
Right.
and or obviously this
Yeah,
is
like in a war
maybe
ground.
yeah, and it's like we've seen the elementalist can summon like a lightning hammer and ice
Right.
bows, but environmental weapons are just open, they're just there, and it
Right.
might not do a crazy amount of damage, but for example, you could just pick up a like disc or a blade disc like Xena disc style,
Right.
and that disc just has the craziest crowd control abilities on it. So, and if you kill that person, maybe they drop it or the disc gets destroyed for 5 minutes. So it
Right.
just adds that extra little bit they have to worry about, kind of like the destructible environment. Well, not destructible environment, but the destructible weapons like the trebuchet and what have you.
Right.
But do you think they'll put stuff like that in the game or?
Um, well, there could be like I would like to see it. That would be cool if like in certain areas there would be just like weapons on the ground like in a war zone where it's in the lore like they're having a war kind of thing. The only problem that I see with that is that there might be if there's too much or not enough of those items or something like that, there might be an argument over who's grabbing it. Like they'll try to grab it before someone else, or like there might be like a fight for power to try to get those items. Like people will constantly be trying to find them on the ground just so that they can get them.
Yeah,
So there's that, but at the same time, that would be the same thing with them like adding cannons to fight those dragons. Like some people will be like, I want to use the cannon. I don't want to go out and fight. So like
that's
there's
true. Yeah.
there's all of that, but it's all on them. And which then once you were talking about that got me thinking like that would be a cool game mode, kind of like a kill the carrier kind of thing where
Yeah.
there's a really powerful like weapon and like when you kill the person you get to use it and like I think that'd be fun. I don't
That
know, like
that would be good.
that
Kind
would
of
be a
like
lot of
a
fun.
that game mode where you keep as if you keep the ball for as long as you can, you slowly gain points.
Right,
But the
exactly.
ball's also an environmental weapon, and
Right,
that's really strong.
right,
That'd be
exactly.
pretty
I
cool.
think it'd be a lot of fun. So like that's something too, I guess that you could do. So
Yeah. But
yeah.
all of this is like we were saying before. Say if there's an environmental weapon on a 5v5 structured PvP map, and you're playing in a pug team, so you're not on with your friends, you're on with four random people,
Right,
and what you said before would definitely come into play. You're
right,
trying, your character is best for this weapon. Like say the
right.
guardian is definitely best to have this weapon, and a little thief comes along and just picks it up and steals it. Just like, oh. So I suppose the next topic would be rage, because I don't know, some certain games people hate playing and stop playing because simply because if you're in a team with random people, people play so bad and they make you lose points and you're wasting your time.
Right.
It just makes you just rage. Kind of like in League of Legends, where everybody knows if you get that really bad team
Right.
and someone's
League of
just
Legends is the
feeding.
worst.
Oh man.
Um, like League of Legends is the ultimate rage gamer, any MOBA. And my biggest argument as to why this is because of how long it is to play a game. So like when you get a bad team, you're like, "Oh great, I'm stuck here now for the next at least 20 minutes." And if you end up getting people who don't want to quit, then you're stuck there even longer for like 35 minutes and you're like, "This is the worst thing ever." So like League of Legends is a big one, and the problem is they have that solo ranked queue, and like everybody makes a big deal about it. But this isn't about League of Legends. But
Yeah.
Guild Wars seems to be it's a pretty fast speed. So my first argument is that since of the speed of the game, you don't need to worry too much about getting raged by losing your time. Um, if there is, I don't know if there is, but if there's a ranked pug system, then that will definitely induce rage.
Yeah.
Because anytime you're doing ranked pug games, there's going to be rage because you'll get people who aren't cooperating or you'll get people who don't know what they're doing and it just makes you mad. You're just like, you're wasting my time. You're
Exactly.
wasting my rank because you don't know what you're doing. Like, but it all depends on that. Really, that's the biggest deal. It's when rank comes into question because of what other people are doing. That's where most rage comes from. So if there is a ranked single, then yes, there will be lots of rage in Guild Wars 2. But I don't think there is one. But who knows?
Yeah, hopefully Arena will take measures against it. As we all know, matchmaking is usually something that game developers try and put in to dampen the effects of
Right.
what we're just talking about. But if you're someone who's 2.2k glory points, and you get matched up with different people who are the same level, then I doubt it would happen. Like we all know, going back to League of Legends, everyone gets level 30 syndrome, as I like to call it, where if you're leveling up your character in summoner levels and you finally hit level 30 and you think, finally, I'm not with the noobs anymore, I'm finally
Right.
max level, it doesn't go away.
Right.
No matter what ELO you have, no matter what ranking, there's always going to be someone
I know.
in the game. So matchmaking never usually fixes it, but
Right.
it's literally just something to do with internet trolls and multiplayer. So there will
Right.
be rage. There will
Right.
definitely
There
be
will be
rage.
rage. Just
But
depends how much.
leading on to the last topic is dodge, where you double tap A or S to dodge out of the way. So obviously you can imagine a mesmer, which, talking about the mesmer, I really don't like the auto attack. The number one skill with the great sword. I
No.
really don't like it, but yeah, that's beside the point.
Right. I mean, I don't. I think it looks weak to me because for some reason, I mean, to be fair, every let's play or every like thing that anybody does with the mesmer, they're always so close with it. They never try to strive for the end distance, so they're always doing like 90 damage. And it's so
Yeah,
stupid. If they would just stay at max distance, they'd be doing like 290 damage. Like it's so funny. But
yeah. The animation on it's cool. The whole spin around the shield, but the audio, the noise
oh,
is
I
really
hate the
annoying,
audio. Ugh,
and the
it's so
beam.
ugly.
Like if you've got two mesmers in a group and that beam is just going all over the place.
It just sounds weird. I
Oh,
don't mind anything else but that sound. You're right. I don't like that sound at all.
exactly. But I suppose a better example would be the Elementalist. Imagine if a massive boulder is coming towards you that's going to finish you off, and you can just dodge out the way.
Right.
In structured PvP, this is going to be it's going to be either like it's ridiculously crucial or it's going to be ridiculously flawed, where literally your ultimate skill or your big CC skill, and everyone's just dodging out the way of it. It's really
Right.
annoying. So what do you think? What do you think dodge is going to be?
Um, I like dodge. I think it also gives you some invulnerability while you're like when you dodge, you don't take any damage in the first place. So like the fact I don't exactly like that. They might have changed that since last time I read up on that, but I like the fact that you can dodge. You can only do it like 3 times consecutively, and the regen is really slow unless you have forget what the vigor. Unless you have the vigor bonus, which increases it by 100%, and then you can dodge all the time. But like,
Yeah,
um, you really can't dodge very often, so you have to really decide when dodging is most crucial. And I really like that. I think that the endurance regen should be buffed a little bit, and then just drop vigor a little bit so that it's kind of a little bit more balanced because people with vigor have such a huge advantage because of how good vigor is. And I think in regards to people just dodging around all the time because of ultimate skills, most ultimates aren't really like
dodgeable.
right. It's not
Yeah,
like most ultimates are consecutive damage, or they are dropping weapons on the ground, or they're shielding allies, or like they're doing things that are huge, like AoE effects that aren't really easy to dodge out of, or buffing your own allies with crazy buffs. There isn't really ones that are just like bam and then the person's like dead or something. I mean,
yeah.
there's like Basilisk Venom, but even in that case, it's just your next hit. So like
Can't really dodge it,
you can't.
especially.
Eventually, you're going to get hit by one hit by that, and then you're going to get frozen or like
Yeah,
any of those skills. Like essentially anything you do, there's like the mass invisibility field and also like everything for the ultimates can't really be wasted. But that's not to say that there's some utilities that you'll be so mad if you miss, because some utility skills can be like 90 seconds, so 60 seconds, and when you miss those, you're just like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
those ones will be a little upsetting, but
No,
hey, if a good dodger, that just adds, my opinion, that's just like, hey, if you dodge that, congratulations. Like,
exactly, and that's what I love most about it is how much it just adds that extra little bit more skill to the game.
exactly. I love it. I love that they added aiming and I love that they added dodge. It's just awesome.
Exactly, and it's you can just imagine watching, like we were saying before, the pro professional players and
Right.
how crazy it's going to be because just dodging about and how like the suspense of watching the games.
The fact that there's aiming and the fact that there's dodging, just think about this. If you can bring in so much psychology into it at that point because you can like do specific formations. Like this is just me spitting out something, but like make like an arrow formation and then
Yeah,
like when they try to like start the attack, you can just like split in a certain way where they just wasted some of their cooldowns for no good reason because you started in a certain position. Like there's so much that you can add because of the aiming and the templates and all that random stuff. So like I love it.
yeah. It's I think a lot of people are just not seeing a true potential out of how this game's going to work. I mean,
Okay.
Terra, have you played the Terra
Yeah,
beta
I've
material?
watched Terra. I never pre-ordered,
Yeah,
so
like that they've got the aiming in there,
right.
but it's sort of still I don't know because I played it a little bit and obviously I haven't played Guild Wars 2, but
Right.
I know a lot about it. So and it's kind of like you've got this little crosshair in the middle of your screen. You're shooting fireballs about and what have you. And there's dodge effects on skills. So if you hit the skill, you dodge to the right, and you can sort of jump and dodge out the way.
Right.
But it's got that sort of active combat. But I don't know. It doesn't feel as well done as it is in Guild Wars 2. And I think a
Right.
lot of people who are playing it sort of think, yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's not the best, if you like.
Right.
But I think the aiming and dodge, and especially sort of on target hits, and the fact that how ArenaNet have done, with all their debuffs and buffs, sort of like endurance, vulnerability,
Right.
there's a long list somewhere on the interwebs. It
There's
sort of
so many.
balances the game a lot better, and I don't know. It seems like ArenaNet are taking all the little tiny ideas that have been developed through MMOs throughout all these years, and have just constructed the almost like the perfect game
Right.
in a sense. That's
Like
why so many people are it's such an anticipated game because they're doing so many things just correctly.
yeah, they're just doing everything like they're like, wow, I had a problem with that, and they're fixing it. So everybody's like, yes. Um, But like seriously, there's one debuff that I'm so scared about, and that's chill. Chill is the most ridiculous skill or debuff ever. Like it's so dumb. It slows your character, and then it also slows their cooldowns. So like, if you build a chill character, you just lock this person. Like it can't do anything. You add a mesmer and like this person just they're done. You just want to troll somebody, roll mesmer elementalist, and then and just have those two people attack one person and just chill them and stun them over and over again. They have nothing. They do nothing.
I can just imagine like I suppose there's loads of CC breakers though, isn't there?
Oh yeah,
You
like
can like
everything has a CC break. Roll for initiative,
yeah
especially anything that makes your character move as a skill. It also breaks CC.
yeah.
So like, yeah,
So I think there'll still be lots of way outs. That's one thing
right,
I'm looking forward to the most in PvP. Is just yeah, I've seen countless videos of how someone is like 1v3ing like this massive group
right,
and he's actually doing quite well, and then suddenly there's like two moves and like a thief, for example, just lays down like traps, puts them all into place, and just gets the bow out and shadow steps away, and
right.
just like I don't know. So the game's so fast paced that it's gonna be extremely good.
I know.
But the last topic is longevity, and how. But I think this is quite invalid to be fair, because obviously the way Guild Wars 2 is looking at the moment, it's going to be going for probably the next 5 years at its peak.
Right.
Like, WoW has just been going on forever. I don't even know how long WoW's been going on for, but
Right.
I think Guild Wars 2's just got that longevity simply because it's free. It's an MMO, and MMOs generally just go on forever anyway.
Right. It's free to try out too. Like it's like anybody who's just curious can just buy it. That's the thing. Like that is going to bring a lot of people there. They're going to be, even if they're skeptical about it, they're going to be like, all right, well, it doesn't cost any like anything else. I'm going to get the game and be good. And like ANET is not shy to dropping the price of a game to uh when they release out a new patch of the game. Like, so like
Yeah.
if it's anything like Guild Wars 2, if you look at or Guild Wars 1, I mean, if you look at all the games, like all of them have dropped since the new releases. Like when Factions came out, Prophecy's just like tanked. They're just like, okay, we can just drop Prophecy's price by $20, whatever. So like,
Yeah.
if they do the same thing, because I only assume that's how they're going to do their update system is the same way they did it in Guild Wars 1, is that they'll release just new content via game patch or like a game in itself. They're just like, here you go, here's Factions, here you go, here's Nightfall, here you go, here's Eye of the North. It's going to be the same thing, I only assume, which would make me happy. But see, that if that's the case, then the price of just getting Guild Wars will drop, and that'll even open even more chances for just people to, because they're going to be like, oh, well, this is only $40, and there's no cost. Why not? Like, and there's no like subscription fee, so why not just try it out kind of thing, and I will just add.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose, the long-term investment of players, the player base, simply being an MMO, you put so much time and effort into it that you'll keep, your core amount of players on. And
Right.
as expansions come out, you get more and more people trying it. And, the whole model, I suppose, of a free-to-play MMO is just that. I mean, people look at tiny, back in the day, old technology still running on Java on a web browser, RuneScape.
Right.
You know,
RuneScape
like,
is still going. Like,
it's still going. Like, I used to play that back when I was like 13 years old.
right.
And even now, it's like still got just as many players playing it
I know.
because everyone can just go back to it, and it's got this free to play aspect.
You
And
know, I go back every once in a while. I'm like, you know what? Why not?
exactly.
Let's
good
go ahead.
times.
Let's go ahead and kill some lesser demons. Why not? I'll do it right now. Right.
Exactly. You're gonna get like so many comments saying you fags.
Right. RuneScape, you suck.
But
And, and I'm gonna respond, shut up, you play it too. Don't even lie to me. You go back once every 9 months and play. Don't even give me this.
exactly. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. And it's the same with Guild Wars 1 as well. Like you were saying, if you used to play Guild Wars 1, I played it when Factions came out, or Prophecies, the original one.
Right,
And,
Prophecies.
I remember my brother got it, and because it was sort of the same time around WoW when we picked it up.
Right, yeah, they were close together. It's just
Yeah.
Guild Wars 1 tried its own thing in itself. So like World of Warcraft kept the model but improved on it. And then ANET does pushes innovation, and they tried their own thing with the instanced areas. It was an MMO, but it was all instanced. And it ended up not working as well. So Guild Wars 1 lost to World of Warcraft, but this time ANET's like, we know
Get
more.
revenge.
We know more about this now. We're going to push the innovation like World of Warcraft did, but keep the same flow of the open world. And bam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hit the nail right in the head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I suppose Guild Wars 2 is going to be the biggest game of 2012, and for esports wise and for player versus player, for all the competitive people out there, it's going to be one of those games where kind of like the Call of Duty and the StarCraft, where it's like if you're good at it, then someone would just say, naturally in the street, you could just be like, I've got this rating in Call of Duty, I've got this rating in StarCraft, and everybody on a global scale knows how good you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Guild Wars 2 is going to be the next sort of really big game.
Right.
And it's gonna be a game to get good at, definitely. And I think I'm gonna concentrate most of my time on the structured PvP.
Yeah, like I'll probably be chilling on World be World all the time because I just love, like I said in one of my videos, I love chaos and like I'll be structured PvPing all the time because that's where I'll be trying out all my new builds. But like in PvE, like World v World, I'm just gonna be like doing it up all the time. Seriously, I love that style of game. I love that open world, like defend your castle kind of feel. So like I'm just gonna be all over there all the time. It's gonna be so
Yeah,
much fun. I'm
it's
seriously so excited.
exactly. The game's gonna be like, I don't know, it's because you want to do everything.
I
You
know.
want to do
I
everything
I
in the
still
game.
like to be honest, I hate PvE. I hate it so much and I wanted dynamic events so bad. I just want to like gather a few of my friends and just start walking. Just start going north and just be
Yeah,
like whenever I hit a heart, just do it. Like I don't, like
yeah.
that would be so much fun. Like, oh my goodness. There's some centaurs. Let's go help these guys. Oh man, some trolls are attacking. They're such trolls. Let's get them. Like, dude,
It's it's going to
seriously.
be epic,
I'm so
definitely.
I'm so excited. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's quite funny because most podcasts you hear and most like Let's Talks, it always rounds up with just saying how excited you are to
I
get
know.
the game. But yeah, I suppose we should wrap it up here. It's been
Heck yeah.
a decent amount of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I go tell everyone what your channel's about and what you do
Oh,
on the
tell yeah,
YouTubes.
heck yeah. Well, my name is Psychopoweranger, and I do all sorts of awesome video game action, mostly Guild Wars 2 related, though sometimes I throw out some, random things like me just being an idiot, going and playing, doing some karaoke, or who even knows? I just do whatever I want. But for the most part, it's Guild Wars 2 related. I get builds going, which is what I'm going to be doing a lot when the game comes out, guides and things of that nature, PvP, Let's Plays, that good stuff. Probably start going to do some regular Let's Plays. Going to be doing some try and some try two. Little spoiler. But,
Oh yeah,
anyways.
you heard it here first.
but yeah, that's what I do up in this.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, you're probably one of the first people I came across on the YouTubes for Guild Wars 2s. So
Heck yeah.
definitely go check out Psycho Power Ranger, man. So yeah, so thanks for listening,
Yeah.
everybody. And yeah, all the links to various things we talked about and information will all be in description and what have you. Other than that, I'll see you all next time.
Peace